if you divide, 700 kilometers, if you divide this 11.11, by, 700 kilometers, you get 19.1 billion, 19.1 billion per kilometer. But this kilometer is
$19.1 billion per kilometer.
No, naira.
Naira.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, per kilometer.
Call the parameters again. Let me divide it.
If you have
700,
I can give you something here. 700.
Yeah.
If you divide 1.1. 11.1 billion.
Okay.
You multiply it by.
Article said trillion.
No, he said $11.1 billion.
That was in dollars, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, dollars.
Yes, and I'm using 1,200.
Yeah.
And you divide it by 700 kilometers.
The thing has gone down to 1,100.
So are you also going to factor that in your variation?
The what?
Because the CBN is defending, and as at today, it's about 1,100.
We are doing a calculation. We are running figures.
Okay, so let's go ahead.
So because
so you're able to run your number. So the cost comes out to about 8.5 billion.
No, that is for the one that was quoted.
So yours is
4.32.
4.32
Yes.
billion per kilometer.
Yes, per a standard gauge.
Does that also involve the rail outlay? Because there's going to be
the rail is a different project altogether.
So you are going to cost that differently.
Because the rail is not here.
The rail is not. So this is just the spread out road.
This is not just.
I mean,
this is the cost. The Bodo Boni project.
Let's not talk about that project.
No, I want to tell you how competitive this is.
Please, let me ask the question, okay. Minister. This is just for the spread out road. This is not for the rail component of the road. How much is the rail component of the road going to cost?
We've not cost the rail.
You've not costed it. So, but you've just made allotments.
Yes,
for the
25
rail,
meters, yes.
25 meters.
Yes,
so there's a setback allotment for the rail.
That is there.
For the rail component of the road.
Yes.
Another thing I will like to ask you is this: 4.5 billion. 4.39 billion.
Yeah.
So per kilometer.
Yes. Per standard gauge.
Per standard gauge.
Yes.
So you are iterating it by 47 kilometers for the first phase, or is your calculation going to iterate it? Is this a standard spread for the 700 kilometers? Because if you say 4.3 times 700 billion, that's over 3 trillion.
That's Minister Dave Umahi, now regarded worldwide as professor in practice. Talking about Tinubu's biggest achievement as president, 2023 to 2027. And it's unfortunate that a country that is now being regarded as the capital of multi-dimensional poverty, it is a road construction that will be the legacy project of the government in power at that time. But that's by the way. So in that particular video, you saw David Umahi trying to dribble and dance around on what he regards as average cost, even though Rufai asking cost per kilometer. Now, leave the grammar behind, leave the calling or whatever it should be called. Is what Rufai asking? Is it achievable? Is it mischievous? Is it something that is not known to people around the world? And I have found that I've asked questions. Yes, it is. If you notice, David Umahi actually gave a cost per kilometer there, but the problem was that he mischievously left out the other details of the road. And when you construct a road, beyond just the asphalting, there are other things. There is the side drainage, the rails, and all of the things. Rufai wanted to know what is cost per kilometer, and I agree. That's why Dave Umahi's analogy of average cost makes sense. It makes sense because there will not be an actual same cost per kilometer from Lagos to Calabar. Various type road tides, slopey nature, soil type, and various things, other factors, and sometimes even what was made there, compensations and all of that can infer what should be regarded as cost per kilometer. But there is always an average cost, and it is mathematics. It's pure. You're an engineer, and so that's why construction, civil engineer, as it were, is in mathematics. Is tied with mathematics because all of these calculations are supposed to come. But Dave Umahi mischievously and because of political reasons decide not to give an average cost. He had come months before, and then it wasn't bad to have given an average cost. But Rufai knew that why did you not add all of that? So if you were coming again, you should have all of that. And now he came again and refused to add. So why is it difficult? And some of you are trying to called Rufai being a propagandist, being a pessimist. But this is what has led us here actually. When we don't ask the right questions, when we don't do the right things, when we allow politicians to come in and do whatever they like and they go. This project reeks of all forms of crime. It's criminality. The project was given without bidding. Now, every day we are hearing that there is so much borrowing still going on because of that project. I can tell you, Tinubu can use this project to borrow up to 150 trillion. And somebody say, why is Rufai asking? Oh, you can go blind if you don't want to use the road. But does that change the fact that there is need for us to know the details? I'll let you see the full interview and tell me. And this was why Rufai said in his heart that he was going to ask the details, because you cannot come before an interview and refuse to come with all of the details. It doesn't happen anywhere. It's only in Nigeria and in Nigerian media space. So we are not done with this. Umahi must present cost per kilometer, whatever he likes to call average cost of that road. The criminality in this country, somebody has to put a stop to it. Let's call it spade a spade. So see the rest of the video and we'll catch up later.
Demolish his building.
No, we come to that.
Which is a major tourist
we come to that
location.
Let me run the figures. Okay. Now, our design, has a duct 7.63 meters. Additionally, I didn't calculate it here. Now, if you look at the design of that is predicated is this thing, and you use 1,200 per dollar, then first of all, if you use 23 meters, you divide it by 11.55, the standard gauge for a superhighway, then you get that this design is 2.225 multiple superhighways. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. Yeah. So it means that in this design, you have the highways, standard highways to be 2.22. Now, in my design, I have my own to be 5.167, which means that in every cross section, you have a standard, highway of 11.55, to be 5.167. Is that correct? Yeah. Now, if you divide, 700 kilometers, if you divide this 11.11, by, 700 kilometers, you get 19.1 billion, 19.1 billion per kilometer. But this kilometer is
$19.1 billion per kilometer.
No, naira. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, per kilometer.
Call the parameters again. Let me divide it.
If you have
700,
I can give you something here. 700.
Yeah.
If you divide 1.1. 11.1 billion.
Okay.
You multiply it by.
Article said trillion.
No, he said $11.1 billion.
That was in dollars, yeah.
Yes.
Dollars.
Yes, and I'm using 1,200.
Yeah.
And you divide it by 700 kilometers.
The thing has gone down to 1,100.
So are you also going to factor that in your variation?
The what?
Because the CBN is defending, and as at today, it's about 1,100.
We are doing a calculation. We are running figures.
Okay, so let's go ahead.
So because we are talking as at today. Okay. So you use 1,200 because it also applies to our own.
Okay. Just
now you get his own at 19,000, 19 billion per kilometer.
Yeah.
Okay. And this kilometer is, 2.22, multiples of standard gauge.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Now, when you now divide this 19 point by this multiple gauge, you get 8.59 billion per kilometer. That is what is.
Why are you dividing it by this another parameter?
Because a standard gauge is 11.55.
Yeah.
So if you have his total pavement of 23 meters, okay, this 23 meters, how much of it is the multiples of a standard gauge?
Okay.
And so if you divide it by standard gauge of 11.55, you get that at every section of the road, what you have is 2.225 multiples of a standard gauge. Is that correct? So when you have, a cross section, per 1 kilometer of 19 billion, and then you now divide it by the multiples to know how much is this thing going to cost me if it were to be Lagos Ibadan, that carriageway. Okay? So it is going to be 2.225. So you divide that 19 billion by 2 2.225, and you get 8.59 billion. Okay. That is what a standard gauge of this kind of construction is going to cost.
But in another interview, you said it would be 8 billion. Now it is 8.9.
8.559 billion. 8.59. Yes.
8.59 billion.
Yes. 8.5.
Okay, so you are saying
8.552 billion. Yes.
Okay. 8.552 billion.
Yes. I will analyze my own.
So you are saying the cost per kilometer
Yes.
is 8.552 billion.
Per standard gauge.
Per standard gauge.
Yes.
So how are you going to iterate for the 700 kilometers? Because I know the variations will be different.
Let me run my own.
Yeah, so run your numbers. So let's see.
My number is, a total of 59, meters width, in terms of, the total pavement. And at the end of the day, I'll tell you there's no comparison, apart from the cost elements, that this one is cheaper by what is saying, by half, and there's no comparison because the cost of what we are doing,
you can't say there's no comparison because we didn't have a tender. That's why I was asking that pertinent question. You can't say there's no comparison. These are your numbers. If I'm to call another engineer to run the number now, in the tender process, they might be able to run it differently.
You are going off the track because I will tell you that there is, baselines, and there are bases. Because it's not an isolated work.
Okay,
we still have a lot of works similar to that are ongoing. When I run my number, I will give you the cost of a similar project that is ongoing, and was awarded about 3 years ago, and I will tell you the cost of that project, now,
so
and what I'm doing.
Because of time, let's move on. 8.5 billion per
that's their own. That's what he has brought to table.
Yeah.
Now my own is if you divide my my own is 1.067 trillion. If you divide it by 47 47.47, are you with me?
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Now you will have the cost, but you will now multiply the cost by 5.167.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
My multiple standard gauge is 5.167. Is that correct? And then you will now have 4.329 billion per kilometer of standard gauge. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Is that correct? Now, this my own standard gauge has a lot of advantages. One is reinforced concrete. 2 is it has a lifespan of between 50 and 100 years. 3, it is suitable for the coastal road because of high water table. Concrete is very good with water. And why do I say that it has no basis in terms of comparison? This cannot stand the test of time. Tell me a asphalt road that is built in this country that has stayed for 10 years.
Not so maybe the ones built in the time of our law. Maybe that's
maybe the quality of materials and commitment, was better. And then you also have, the local materials, the chippings, the cement, compared to, the importation of bitumen.
Okay, I have a couple of questions, sir. So you were able to run your numbers. So the cost comes out to about 8.5 billion.
No, that is for the one that was quoted.
So yours is
4.32.
4.32 billion per kilometer.
Yes, per a standard gauge.
Does that also involve the rail outlay? Because there's going to be
the rail is a different project altogether.
So you are going to cost that differently?
Because the rail is not here.
The rail is not. So this is just the spread out road.
This is not just.
This
is
no,
the cost.
No.
The Bodo Boni project. Which is
let's not talk about that project.
No, I want to tell you how competitive this is.
Please, let me ask the question, Minister. This is just for the spread out road. This is not for the real component of the road. How much is the real component of the road going to cost?
We've not cost the road.
You've not costed it. So, but you've just made allotments.
Yes,
for the
25
real,
meters, yes.
25 meters.
Yes,
so there's a setback allotment for the real,
that is there.
For the real component of the road.
Yes.
Another thing I will like to ask you is this: 4.5 billion. 4.39 billion.
Yeah.
So per kilometer.
Yes. Per standard gauge.
Per standard gauge.
Yes.
So you are iterating it by 47 kilometers for the first phase, or is your calculation going to iterate it? Is this standard spread for the 700 kilometers? Because if you say 4.3 times 700 billion, that's over 3 trillion. Is that what it's going to come down to?
You're not getting the figures right.
No, you said per kilometer.
You have to know the cost. What is that 4.329 billion? What is it for? it is for a standard gauge of 11.55. And we have 5.16 multiples of a standard gauge.
Yeah.
So multiply this by 5.167.
So I will now multiply this 3 billion
by
times
5 points.
Multiplied by
5.16.
16.
Yes.
So it will go about 15 trillion.
Plus and minus. And
15
if you
trillion.
if you multiply